Hi, everybody. My name is Donna, and this is my husband, Brian. We decided to do a podcast to bring awareness to mental health, people that are dealing with it, how they deal with it, and how the stigma more or less has changed over the years. Brian has been so nice to walk us through his story. So, Brian, who just turned 56 today, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's going to go back from his parents, his grandparents, his childhood, all the way through up to now and what he's dealt with, how he's dealt with it, the good, the bad, the ugly. So we encourage you to follow. Please, if you have any questions, send us in the comments and we will do our best to respond. All right. You want to say anything before we start?
Nope. Some of the stuff might not be suitable for everybody, and if you're easily offended, then this probably might not be the conversation for you.
Keep in mind, he's telling his true facts of what he's dealt with.
I would say it's probably not for kids unless maybe the adults are with them, if that's something you want to do, but there may be some language and there may be some situations that you're uncomfortable with.
And feel free, if anything bothers you, to send us a message. And I'm not going to say we're going to change it because this is his life. This is his life. We can't change what he's done, how he's done it.
No, I mean, the conversation's not going to change. It's just, it's what happened. It's how it is, and, you know.
All right. So Brian has been diagnosed with panic disorder, agoraphobia. For those who don't know what that is, it's the fear of going outside. The fear of being around people.
It's more the fear of crowds and stuff like that, but that developed later, and I don't know if that I've ever actually been officially diagnosed with that, as opposed to just like being told
That's what it is.
that's what it is, or I just became agoraphobic because of
What you were going through.
secluding myself.
He also has anxiety and depression, more like seasonal depression, but he does deal with bouts of depression. So we're going to start off. I want to ask him some questions, and then we're just going to get into a discussion. So going back, looking at your family, any family history of mental illness or panic disorder that you know of?
Grandmother on my mom, or my grandmother on my mom's side, no diagnosis, but from what my mom had told me, she would barricade the house to keep the kids out, or throw them out and then barricade like windows and doors. Go running, screaming, hiding into the basement in thunderstorms.
But is that abnormal? Hiding during a thunderstorm? An adult, typically, yes. But,
Well, she was an adult.
well, I get that. But could something have happened in her childhood that triggered that?
I don't know anything about my grandparents' childhood, so anything's possible. I'm just saying what I was told. I never witnessed this. I didn't know either of my grandparents from my mom.
Okay. I mean, I'm not calling your grandmother a dog, but dogs do it all the time. Thunderstorm, they kind of hide.
Right. I mean, from my mom's accounts of it, it was more just
Extremely abnormal behavior.
very odd.
Okay.
Not something that. Yeah, I know there's people. I've heard of other people that will go and sit in between, not all the way in the basement and not upstairs, but in between, so they can't see the lightning or whatever. So everybody's got their irrational fears, which is what agoraphobia is, what panic disorder is. It's all irrational. None of it's, logical.
And we will touch base on that as we talk about your older situations. How about your grandfather? What type of person was he?
On my mom's side,
Mm-hmm.
from what she told me, he was I guess, semi or functioning alcoholic. I don't know what he did for a living. I have no idea. First time I saw him was at his funeral.
I'm guessing he wasn't working then.
Not unless his job was laying in a casket. No, I
Then he
don't know.
aced it, didn't he?
Nailed that one.
Did your grandmom work? Your mom's mom?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And the first time I saw her was at his funeral.
Okay. What about your mom have siblings?
She has a sister and a brother.
And are they more or less functioning like a normal adult in society?
Both, married, kids, all that, grandkids.
And their kids seem pretty even keel?
Yeah. I didn't know my uncle all that well. Actually, again, I think the first time I remember meeting him was when my grandfather died.
So it was a family reunion.
He lives out in the Midwest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Don't know much about him or his family.
No. I mean, I talked to him a couple of times within the past few years, which obviously we'll get into that later. But from everything from what my mom said, everybody else was
Functioning in normal society. Okay. Your dad's parents.
My dad's mom. She worked full time. Plus, I don't know when she went. I don't know if she was like housemaker, and then once the kids were out, she started working, or she was. I always remember her working.
What did she do?
She was a waitress.
It must have been the thing back then because that's what my grandparents were. My grandmother, yeah.
Yeah, it was at a. Well, I don't know if they still have them, but back then there was Holiday Inns.
Okay.
And
Like the breakfast area?
And they had, no, it was a full-on, like, restaurant.
Okay.
The whole, everything. I mean, it kind of looked more like a banquet facility.
Okay.
Or maybe a cafeteria, whatever, but they had servers, and I actually have her name tag.
Oh, that's cute.
And it wasn't, it was called Best Western at the time.
Okay.
But she did that. She retired. Like I said, I don't know if she always worked. I remember her always working.
Okay.
Because we had gone, so we would go out there specifically
To see her.
to eat dinner and then, see her. Besides, we lived 6 blocks away and saw her anyway, but.
What about your dad's dad?
Again, as far as I know, worked his whole entire life. He retired from, I don't know if Westinghouse still exists anywhere, but they actually lived across the street from a very large factory at the time in town, and he retired from there. You would probably say he was a functioning alcoholic. But in those times, like I said, he would get home from work, have a 6-pack, have dinner, have a 6-pack, sit on the porch.
Chill, then go to sleep.
Go to sleep, get up and do the same thing again. I don't really remember the weekends. He may have drank on the weekends, but I don't. When we were over there for barbecues and stuff.
You don't remember?
I don't remember him. I just remember, like, if we went over for dinner on a weekday. He was having a beer with dinner.
I think back then that was typical, though. I mean, the men, and I'm not discounting the females at all, so please don't think I am.
I think my grandmother threw a few back here and there, too.
Well, so did my nan. So, especially on a hot day, she loved a cold beer. But I think the guys, they would go to work, And most guys back then worked a very vigorous job. It wasn't like they were sitting in a computer or something like that.
Yeah, he was working in the manufacturing department, like, so he was hands on and coming home dirty, and
Yeah, so I think that was typical. I mean, so even if you wanted to call it a functioning, because he worked, he kept he kept the bills paid.
I never noticed him drunk.
Okay.
But like looking back now, knowing what drunk looks like now or buzzed, I don't ever remember him being like that.
Okay.
He was either cracking jokes or, we were, playing gin rummy or something like that. But
Nothing drastic that you can recall.
no.
All right. What about your father's siblings?
So he had two brothers. One became a nurse.
Shout out to the nurses.
Yeah. And back then there weren't a whole lot of male nurses
No, there weren't.
in the 70s. And he went on to, he had three or four. Sorry, cousins. He had one from, I think, a first marriage, and then three from the second.
Okay.
And then he went on to be, actually rode a Harley and went on to be a traveling nurse. Rode around the country and did nursing wherever he landed. My other uncle, I should know what he did for a living, but I don't. I know he got hurt. My memory on a lot of this sucks. I'm pretty sure he got hurt on the job. It was his back, or he had got injured maybe in a car accident. I'm not.
We'll just cough it up till he got hurt.
Yeah. And I think he was pretty much permanently out at that point.
Okay.
He turned to drinking. I don't remember ever hearing of anything like bad,
Okay.
like over the top, like involving the law or anything, just a heavy drinker, which there's a lot of that in, my dad's side of the family. It was.
All right. So let's go to your parents. I never met your dad. I did have the honor of meeting your mom. Growing up, your household wasn't typical, and we're going to get into that.
Well, I don't know. For my town, it may have been.
No, I'm not saying the divorced parents not being typical. I'm saying the situation with the parents wasn't typical. Your father wasn't a typical dad, is what I'm trying to say nicely.
For that town,
Not really.
there was a lot of kids that didn't have relationships with their dads.
I'm not saying not having a relationship. I'm saying the type of father he was.
I knew a few.
It's still not typical.
I don't know if it's from the jet fumes or the railroad or whatever, but there was a little hive of shithead, parents down there.
So, all right, let's take you back to your childhood. You have a brother who's older.
Before that, there's, to this day, even like my daughters would say they had met my dad later on in life and had no idea how, including me, how my parents ever got together.
So we're going to backtrack for a second.
So
I asked your mom that. So anyone knowing your mom, pretty much if you asked her something, she would pretty much answer you. You might not like the answer you got, but she would pretty much.
Yeah, she didn't have a problem with.
So we were talking about the family history, And I said to her, I said, can I ask you a question? She's like, what? I was like, hearing everything I heard about your dad and everything I know about your mom. Now, granted, this was many years after they had split. I said, it doesn't click. And I remember her telling me, it was funny. It was actually after the surgery. I remember her telling me, I think it was his image I liked.
The bad boy.
Bad boy image.
Yeah.
And I said,
Well,
I couldn't connect those two because knowing your mom now.
but but also,
And she wanted to get out.
She was a smoker and a drinker when she was younger.
And she quit all of it. Yep.
Like from the time she was a teenager right up until I think she got pregnant with my brother.
And then she smoked again before she had you.
She was, she just cut everything out. Because there was times where I remember her telling me a story that they were having a Christmas party, and because she worked in the city for a publication that I don't know if it's still around. It used to be called Weekly Reader. Mm-hmm. It was a kids thing.
It's still around.
There was like activities and stories and all that stuff in it. So she worked for them, and they had a Christmas party. And she said all she remembered was getting to the train station in the county and like somehow called her sister and was like, had no idea how she got from one to the other. And I was like, you?
So,
and she was like, I smoked a pack a day. And I was just like, what? So, but yeah, she did.
She grew up, your dad didn't. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's kind of what it stems down to.
Well, that's definitely the case. But yeah, she did say before that a lot of it was that he was a punk troublemaker, but, he had blonde hair and the blue eyes, and there's a couple pictures of him where, he's got his hair slicked back like a greaser kind of thing, and wearing the T-shirt, I guess, with the cigarettes rolled up in the sleeve, and which was weird because I don't ever remember him smoking. But
and I remember seeing a picture of him with the brown leather.
He might have been trying to be James Dean or something.
Yeah, and there was a picture with the brown leather, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I think he might have stolen too many movies.
Ironically, though, I remember you telling me that your mom said that he was not her first love.
No. A guy that she thought she was going to marry. I don't remember why or how it ended. I don't remember all that story.
I thought that's why it ended.
Because he was murdered?
Yes.
No, that was years after she found out, after she was already married to my dad. And
I didn't understand
had
that
kids
part.
and all.
Okay.
No, yeah, he was found murdered in a park in the city.
Cobbs Creek.
Yeah. I don't think she had pictures of the guy, or
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you his name, but she did say that she had wished that it was. I think it was kind of her choice, and she said she had kind of wished. Well, after being with my dad, you could probably wish for anything else.
And a lot of it, she did say she wanted to get out of the house. She
wanted to get away from her parents.
Yeah.
Her dad was very. I don't think he was a military guy, but he had that super strict, you're going to do it this way or I'm going to knock the crap out of you kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe not that, but just, and she was like, yeah, I'm going to do what I want. And if you don't like it.
Oh, well.
And she left home at 17.
I never looked back.
Never, I don't think she ever talked to them again.
Until, if I remember what she told me correctly, until your grandfather had passed and she was devastated that he was alone in the hospital when he died.
I don't know why you'd be devastated because you didn't have anything to do with him either. that part I go.
But she didn't know either.
She may have felt bad, but how bad can you feel about somebody who you hadn't talked to in 50 years?
So I'm going
to
to flip the switch. Look at what she did for her mom.
Yeah, she didn't want my grandmother dying alone, and she stayed in the hospital with her for about a week until she passed.
Yeah. So I mean, and I guess maybe it's
because my grandmother left my grandfather in a hospital in Philadelphia to die by himself. And my mom did say that if she would have known, she would have went.
And that's what, she told me. She said that, and that was one of the reasons why she wouldn't let her mother die by herself.
But I'm not like that. If I don't talk to somebody for 20 some years and they're dying, well, they're going to die on their own.
Right.
I'm not going to go hang with them.
And we'll actually get into some of that stuff in a little while. So your parents, your childhood. But this is going to sound so stupid, but when you were born, mom and dad were together.
Well, it's not that stupid because they weren't until she was pregnant with me.
Okay.
Because
I found that out. She was not married when she had your brother.
Yeah. They had Dave was
she told me that.
He was a few years old and they had kind of separated. She was living in an apartment by herself with him. And then I guess I don't know if it was called that back then, hooked up.
I think they were still on and off.
And I was the result.
Yeah.
And they got married.
Yeah. All right, so.
Which now that I'm looking back at my kids, kind of happened the same way. But anyway.
Doesn't fall far from the tree. We'll touch base on that.
We'll get to that in 20 some years.
Yeah. So what can you remember about your childhood with your parents?
Hold on. Like my earliest memories?
Mm-hmm. Good, bad, ugly. We want to hear it all.
Yeah, a lot of my stuff is, or what I realized, what I was remembering was looking through old photo albums. Because I would tell somebody, oh, I remember doing this, and then look through a photo album and go, oh, no, I don't remember. I remember seeing the picture of me doing it. I don't actually remember doing it.
So what do you remember from your childhood? Forget the photo albums. What do you consciously remember?
Like doing things or just...
Any of it.
It being crappy, it being...
Okay, why?
I mean, like anybody else, there's going to be good and bad.
Which outweighed which?
What's that?
What outweighed what? What outweighed what? Like, was the good outweighing the bad outweighing the good? As a whole, I'm not saying individually.
If somebody's like, oh, if you could go back and be a kid, like, no, thank you.
Okay.
Not me. I'll do the adulting thing. I don't want to be a kid again. No.
He's just a big kid, though.
Until I was a teenager, there was like zero fun going on, to be honest with you. But, I mean, I can remember. So we had originally lived in this apartment. It was like the third floor of this apartment on the highway. I do remember there used to be an old, they called it the piano factory. Obviously, they built pianos. I remember that burning down and sitting at the front window of the apartment, and you could feel the heat from this.
I'm assuming this was not a very good memory.
Well, it wasn't my factory. I mean, I was probably 4.
So it was cool to watch.
Yeah. I mean, started to get a little...
Toasty?
Yeah, back away from the window, but because that place was nothing but just dried wood, and it was the size of a small airport.
And what it's treated with is highly flammable.
Yeah. So, there's probably another one. I remember getting knocked out of bed when there was a tanker that exploded out in the river. And getting shook out of bed.
That could explain a lot.
What, me bouncing my head off of a wood floor? I fell out of, from what I'm told, I fell out of bed all the time, to where they had to put up special like railings to keep me from. There's actually pictures where they would take the crib and flip it upside down
and put you in like a jail.
Yeah, just so she could cook dinner.
So you were an evil kid.
Yeah, I know there's one picture where I busted out 2 of the rungs and could get out. So they, back then, used to get like a 30-gallon trash can full of rock salt, because there was a stuff called snow that we used to get back then, and ice. So living on the 3rd floor, you had to go outside and go down 2 flights of metal steps. So they took that huge trash can full of rock salt and blocked the hole that I had made in the crib, just so while my dad was at work, my mom could cook dinner.
As he's sitting there eating the rock salt.
that may contributed to a few things too. I don't know. But
do you have like one really good memory as a kid from like 6 under?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
How old were you when your parents split?
9.
Okay. So from the time...
Now, again, when I was 8, we went to Disney World. I don't remember any of it.
Okay.
I remember thunder and lightning and pouring rain at a period at night for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you any of the rides. I couldn't... again, if I describe something, we could go and look through the photo album, and you would go, that's what you just described. I don't remember it. I just remember seeing it in the photo album.
Okay, so...
But, I mean, I'm sure we had gone to other places, out to a place called Dutch Wonderland. That was like a yearly thing.
You just don't remember
from
them.
what I'm told.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember pictures of it, and I know we did it, but I don't remember being in the moment and actually experiencing it.
So a lot of it could be, too, your bad memories unfortunately blocked some of the good memories. That's typical. I mean, and from what you've said in the past, you have a lot of traumatic memories as a child.
I mean...
So
I guess it depends on what you define as traumatic, but...
Well, traumatic for, yes, now they wouldn't be traumatic, you're an adult. But for a child, they would be considered traumatic. Like, so from the time you can remember to 9, with your dad in the house, even though he may have come and gone or whatever, what do you remember the most?
He was just always pissed off about something. Just always miserable. Maybe not pissed off, but just miserable. I mean, he did one of those jobs where he was a body man, so he was sanding and painting cars all the time. So he's probably huffing in a lot of crap because there wasn't a whole lot of regulations back then. But and a lot of the guys that I knew that were friends of his at that time, like even later on in my early teens, they were all the same way. They all seemed like just hated their jobs, hated their lives, whatever. He had anger issues as far as his temper, fly off the handle pretty easily. Wasn't a whole lot of fun to be around.
Okay. So then Mom puts him out.
Well, I mean, there was still a bunch of stuff before that.
So all right. So what was before that then? What do you remember as a child from before that?
they never really. My mom kind of made it to where you didn't see them fighting, but you knew. You know what I mean?
You could just feel the tension in the room.
Yeah. Or you would come downstairs and something that used to be on top of the shelf wasn't there anymore. Because apparently it got broke.
But she kind of tried to, as much as possible, shield you guys from it.
Yeah.
Do you think that was for the best? Hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's good for any kid to just sit there and watch their parents just F-bomb, you know. And my mom didn't really curse, so she would just be getting more upset, where my dad would probably, like I said, I don't remember a specific argument with them. But knowing the two of them, I would say he was probably sitting there like
And she more or less just took it.
bored out of his mind. No, he probably didn't say a word. No, my mom would have hit him upside the head with a frying pan.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
But I think he would have. I think, you know, there's the people who know if they just sit there quietly, they're pissing you off even more. Mm-hmm. So that person just starts to yell even more. Mm-hmm. Like that. But again, I never heard her screaming or yelling. So when and if it ever happened, I don't know. You know, I don't know how they fought exactly. I just know, you know, my mom wasn't a take shit from anybody kind of person. If she didn't like you, you knew it. If she didn't like something you did, you
know it.
You could tell right away.
Do you think your dad was ever abusive to your mom?
No. He would have been dead long before.
I'm not just saying physically, emotionally.
I mean, he was cheating and partying and out like that. So, I mean, if that's what you consider.
Okay, yeah. Like an absent husband.
Yeah, absentee. You know,
Okay.
just wasn't there a whole lot. You know, would work late and then I want to go to the bar. Bars aren't open until 5 a.m, so you were somewhere else.
So
The other, if you want to say traumatic or whatever, would be his choice in vegetables. Which I know, trust me, I know there's going to be a lot of people going, this motherfucker's getting bent about vegetables. Yes, I'm going to get bent about vegetables. I still to this day don't eat them.
he doesn't. I can vouch for that. He does not eat vegetables. It's so funny. The holidays, like I'll do a green bean casserole and for the store getting the stuff. He's like, does that need to be on the table? I'm like, yes, it's standard.
That one, I can't stand onions to begin with. Like
They're not really onions.
They're fried onions. What are you talking about?
But they're not really.
Is an onion ring an onion?
But if you break off the bread of an onion ring, you can pull the onion out. These you can't. I'll fight to the hills on that one. All right, so
If you want to take the win, go ahead.
he does not like vegetables. He will not eat them.
So, anyway, green bean casserole should be, you know, outlawed.
We have it every holiday.
And I will turn my nose up at it and move it away from me every time it's on the table. But, okay, so I'm guessing you're going to have to be mid to late 50s or older to know what wax beans are.
Yeah, because I didn't know until you showed me them.
Basically, they are a green bean, like long. They are, I'm pretty sure they got their name from earwax because that's what color they are.
They are not. They're white.
No, not the ones I was eating. They are a funky looking yellow, like beeswax. That's the best way I could say it.
That is nasty.
And I would rather eat a wax candle than wax beans. Disgusting.
And I'm guessing they were like one of your dad's favorites.
No, I don't know how many times I didn't eat them. I don't know how many times they were on a plate, but oh, trust me, it was a nonstop Brussels sprouts, beets, lima beans, cauliflower, broccoli. And I know some people out there are like, what's wrong with them? They suck. I can't eat them.
So no.
The smell of them, I can look at them. I can walk by the produce. They look great. The minute you cook them, I want to punch somebody in the face.
So I was just going to ask you, can you eat raw broccoli?
I have.
Okay. So I guess I will. Well, I can't have broccoli, so it's fine. But I love raw broccoli. Put it in a dip. Yep. Good.
I can eat raw carrots.
Yep. So can I.
You cook them, get them the hell away from me.
So, and it does change the taste.
Like,
it changes the texture.
Because I can eat a salad with cucumbers and tomato. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a while, but I have no problem with that.
You put greens in front of him. He's like, "What is this? Give me food. Do I look like a rabbit?"
Says the person who has 2 bags of spring salad or something upstairs.
No, it's American salad because you told me they didn't make it.
American salad.
Long story, guys. But I'll eat salad. I like salad, even though I'm not supposed to. I love salad. You, on the other hand, you think it's a waste.
I don't think it's a waste. It's just I'm more there for the dressing than the actual salad. Like put the Italian dressing on it, and I'll eat it. But I'm gonna need a bunch of more food because that ain't gonna do the trick.
Well, yes, and usually when I make a salad, I put other stuff on it, but still.
Well, no, not stuff on it.
No, I meant like with tuna fish or something like that.
After the salad,
Oh, you want
now
food?
now
Okay.
I want like chicken and potatoes or steak and potatoes or pot roast or whatever.
And vegetables.
Meatloaf, something. No vegetables.
All right, so
No,
you didn't like
but
vegetables.
Lima beans, French style green beans, and everything was out of a can or frozen. The only one that I did eat that people will probably go, really, is spinach.
Wait, before I left, was it a Popeye thing?
No, I don't think I watched Popeye.
Then why did you like spinach? It's disgusting.
Because my mom you put a little salt and lemon, and it was great.
I like.
Probably because it didn't have a taste. You could just taste the lemon.
Yeah, I like spinach artichoke dip. It's spinach.
There's something else I can't stand is all the trendy crap where people mix 6 different things together.
It's not
But
trendy. It's been out for years.
That's a whole nother topic.
Spinach, though?
Yeah, she said we were having spinach, like, boom, I'm at the table. I don't care what else we're eating. Give me the spinach. And, like, if you would have just gave me that, like, every night, there wouldn't have been an issue. Now, the issue came around not so much having to, because I didn't eat them, I wouldn't. Because, like my mom said, I used to listen to her right up until I was 2, and then that was the end of that. But my dad, his rules were you finished what was on your plate, or you sat there until you did, or until 9 o'clock, and then you got beat. So it took me a while to figure out, all right, I'm not eating this crap. I'll eat the meat, the potatoes, the pasta, the, stuffing, mac and cheese, all the other stuff. I'm not eating that. So it took me a while to figure out, let me just go get my beating, get it out of the way, and then I can go about the rest of my evening.
Did anyone sit at the table with you?
Well, my brother, until he figured out how to hide his stuff in the napkins and stuff. And yeah, I know I'm an idiot because I never figured it out, and or just looked at him and went, "Oh, I don't know how he did it.
But was there an adult sitting at the table with you?
Not after a couple hours, no.
So
After your ass went numb, my mom would clean up, and you're sitting there with your 2 plates. I'm pretty sure that food probably had went bad by the time I got to it, because it's like 4 hours later, and
So
I'm
you're
still messing with it.
So you're sitting there, napkins here, right? You have your plate, just playing, and then just slide it in the napkin, fold it, slide it, fold it. It's not that I've never done it, for the record. I always ate my vegetables, but that's all. Well, we always had a dog too.
Yeah, we didn't have a dog. No, I would try to cut it up as small as possible, and peas were another one that if you cook peas, and if I even smell it, I want to start swinging at people. There's a lot of vegetables that make me want to start swinging.
I'm going to put it in my shopping note to pick up.
Right, you go ahead and do that.
That's probably my favorite, are peas.
But I would literally take one, throw it in my mouth, glass of milk. So 7 glasses of milk in. I got a stomach ache. I only downed 7 peas, and I still got, and it didn't matter how much you scattered them around the plate. My mom would just be like,
she wouldn't even scrape them off and say he ate them.
no, and she later on actually apologized and felt that was one of the things that she had felt bad about, that she didn't step in and stop that, and once he was gone, vegetables were an option. And I actually started to eat more, because it's like the vegetables that I do eat, most people, I don't know, mushrooms aren't a vegetable, they're a fungus. Yeah, so once she booted them out, that was the end of that. Didn't have to worry about that anymore.
So if you can look back and think of one thing besides the beatings for the vegetables, when your father was there anything else that significantly stood out to you? Just mainly his anger issues,
He wasn't there a lot.
Okay.
He was either working or,
But your mom did an amazing job being there.
What's that?
Your mom did an amazing job being there, dealing with what she had to deal with the situation.
Yeah, I mean, she raised me and my brother. I mean, his anger stuff, he would throw crap when it wasn't going right. The one incident that I do remember was shortly after, I don't know if it was birthday or Christmas, I can't remember. They got me a bike. It looked like a motorcycle, like a motocross. So it had a fake plastic gas tank, fenders, and, literally looked like an old, Evel Knievel type. Watch the documentary, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like a motorcycle, but it was a pedal bike. And we're trying to put a speedometer on it, and he couldn't do it, and he threw the bike across the basement. And then the next day, one of my friends came over, and we got it on.
And how old were you?
7, wow. I think.
Patience is a virtue.
It's not one that I have.
So I think we're going to stop here for now. We're going to start the next series with you in school.
Yay.
I'm sure that we're going to have tons to talk about. And I'm sure we're going to learn a lot about what made him the person he is today. Good, bad, and the ugly. All right, guys, we'll see you in a little while.